Hello boys and girls and other creatures of the fjords. My name is Casper and welcome to a game dev talk here at Frostisen Studio. Today we're going to say hello to Steffen Salte. Steffen is 30 years old, living outside Stavanger. He has a degree of game design here in Norway and a bachelor's of game art from the University of South Wales. And he is the lead 3D character artist at Frostisen Studio, working on our fantasy RPG, Eydigard. Welcome, Steffen.
Hello, thanks for having me.
When we talk about character creation in Eydigard, what would you say is the main overarching style in terms of creating characters that fit together with each other and with the game as a whole?
Yes, so we are going for a stylized approach, grounded in reality, not this heavily Disney style, and we're taking inspiration from many places, mainly Kittelsen as a starting point, and from there we exaggerate colors, shapes and expressions to capture a fairy tale vibe.
Yeah, and stylized, where we can often talk about stylized in sort of a scale from very little stylized to a highly stylized character. Where would you place the art style for Eydigard?
Yes, that's also a broad question. We kind of don't want you to be able to place it. We want it to be unique, yet a bit familiar. We have used a lot of oil paintings and hand-painted inspirations. And then we have a starting point in reality. And then we iterate on the levels of exaggerations for colors, shapes, and the readability in the game. And this is to add a flair to the more fantasy aspect of the game, because reality is always a bit gloomy at times, but with all the exaggeration we do, we are able to lean into some of the more whimsical fantasy side of Norwegian fairy tales and folk tales.
Yeah, and could you take us through sort of your workflow for creating one of these characters?
Yeah, I'm a character sculptor, but I'm also kind of a translator. The characters begin with an idea, usually, which we then reinforce with lore, stories, and personalities for the characters, what environment they are in, and references, mood boards, and inspiration. I then do my best to take notes of all these things we want to maintain in the vision for this character, and then bring it from 2D to 3D. I take care of the whole process from high poly sculpted details to retopology for a game ready mesh, and then texturing, and then I send it off to our animator that will breathe the final breath of life into the character. So the whole process requires a lot of communication with the team to keep up the vision going from idea to game version.
Now, it appears to me that you are in many ways the shepherd that is tasked with getting this vision and this essence of the game safely home. So the concept and the lore can only do as much, and in the end it comes down to your execution of the task at hand. So from the technical side, in terms of the tools that you use, from what I can remember, you use ZBrush for sculpting, is that correct?
Yes, ZBrush is industry standard and my bread and butter for sculpting. We have been experimenting a lot with the style and iterating and refining and tweaking and trying to find a good place for maximizing the quality and time. If we take our hair creation, for example, we originally wanted to hand sculpt all the fur and hair. Of course, we quickly realized that the time required didn't really add up to the scope. So I made multiple brushes for hair and fur, and also generated a lot of reusable textures for creating the fur, which is a huge time saver. And I usually do a rough sketch or sculpting sketch for the flow of the hair and generate how I want it to look. And then I go over with these custom brushes, and then I simply put, make it real nice.
Now, we've talked about the style and the inspiration behind the characters and the tools that you use to get them there. Now, could you reveal a little bit about what you are working on right now? and what's in the future for the 3D character pipeline?
Right now, too many characters to mention. Currently working on some ruggedly handsome forest trolls and a few different variations. They are soon game ready, and then I will take on a rather different area with creating 4-legged creatures, which I haven't done much of, but it's very exciting.
Yeah, that sounds very exciting indeed. Well, you know, I know that this thing is pretty far from your comfort zone, and I won't hold you here for too long, getting you back to your 3D work. But thank you so much for coming in and giving us a little bit of insight into your work.
Thanks for having me, and bye-bye.
Now, as a final note to our audience, if you haven't wishlisted Eydigard on Steam yet, the link is available in our bio, the comments, or the description, depending on which platform you're finding us on. It supports the development a lot if you do. So, on that note, I'll see you all next time for more Eydigard content.